All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Shalom to you, sincere Akim, out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. With that being said, Adawan Ratazad, this will be edifying. As usual, I'm going to go into Rakah Kwadash. And I saw this video from the Hodge twins, a bunch of coons. But I had to speak on this. And I'll leave the link for this video in the description. As you can see, it says, Asian restaurant owner lost it after no tip. Restaurant owner goes after black customer for not tipping. And like I said, you can watch the video for yourself. It was very disgusting. But a bunch of precepts came to mind. You know, again, main thing was in my mind is, what did I say? The pride of Moab. You could see the pride of Moab. It was just oozing out of this man. And the hatred, the animosity, the disdain that these heathens have towards you tribes. It's biblical. It's biblical, you know? And you tribes, you refuse to wake up. You know, I don't have to, I mean, this is further proof, but you know, we all know. We live in this skin 24/7, whether you're a so-called Negro, a Benjamite, so-called West Indian, a Haitian, Levi, you're one of the northern tribe, you're Hispanic, you know, Puerto Rican, Mexicano, Cubano, Gad, North American Indian, Seminole Indian. We know these heathens hate our guts, man. It's no secret. It's no secret. A lot of you try to swallow it down and live in denial, but it's obvious. The evidence is overwhelming. These heathens have a disdain for you tribes, man. When the hell are you going to wake the hell up? When are you going to wake up and stop cooning, man? Wake up to reality. It's biblical. You can't get around it. This is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's movie, and he made it this way. You know? But we know 2/3 of you are not going to wake up. You're going to stay in the sunken place till you're destroyed. You know, the main purpose of these videos are primarily for the elect, man. To exhort and comfort, you know, the hopeful elect, you know, with the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, because we're not crazy, you know. We know it in our spirit that these heathens don't like us. It's obvious, you know. And it's becoming more and more evident as each day passes. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Let's let the Lord speak. Straight to the point. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. We are the nation not desired. You tribes, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Latinos, Hispanics, North American, Seminole Indians. You are the most hated nation on the face of the earth, by far. By far. You know? And we are and it's so funny, we are the weakest nation. We have no military might. We have no standing army. We have no monetary might. We have no true leaders. We have no power. Yet, these nations still despise us. Why is that? Because they know in their core being that we're special, we're peculiar, we're naturally above them. They have a natural jealousy, envy, hatred toward us, man. But going back to what it says, gather yourselves. That's what we're doing now. The hopeful elect, the remnant of Yasharallah are gathering, cleaving one to another. The tabernacle of David is being rebuilt right in front of your eyes. And what's gathering us? This word, this truth. It set us free. And these nations are scared. To the ones of us that are not in that docile, obedient, comatose state. The ones of us that have woken up to the truth, we're a threat, we're a problem. Hence why they're going to demonize us and they're going to persecute us. Jeremiah 2, I'll read a little bit. I started at 11. The main point is in 14. Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit. They trim their ways to seek love. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith the Lord Yahweh. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and have hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Yeah, you're looking for a nation that can't save you. You're putting your trust, in futile efforts, man. Our salvation, our faith, our trust lies in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the only way out of this predicament, is repenting, turning back to our power and being obedient. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? And you would, 2/3 of Yasharallah would have you believe that we are slaves, servants. We're a bunch of coons, tap dancing coons, Have the masses will have you believe that. But the Wadi Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, he's always kept a remnant, a righteous cluster for himself, the hopeful elect. Just running through a couple precepts that was in my mind. Again, watch the video for yourself. I'll leave it in the link. Very disgusting. That hatred, that Moabite, the pride on that goddamn goop. Jeremiah 15:5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem, And we're a people before a place, and the bulk of us are in the Americas. And we were bought to the Americas by the force of the sword, by our enemies, by our oppressors, to serve hardcore bondage to this very day. So again, it says, who shall bemoan thee? Who shall go aside and ask how thou doest? Nobody. Nobody cares about our plight. They all know about what happened to us. They all, they don't give a damn. But that's the point. Again, just some key points, verses that was in my mind. Nobody bemoans us. Nobody cares about our plight. Matter of fact, majority of these heathens, they come over here to get over on us. This Genesis 49. This is what Jacob told his sons would befall them in the latter times. I just want to get about Judah, because I believe the Hodge twins are probably Judah, man, but they're coons, man. They're homeborn slaves. Just as 2/3 of Yasharallah, you're in a very docile, comatose state, but that's prophetic. Genesis 49:8. Judah, thou art, and the Judah, if you don't know, are the so-called Negroes, the head tribe. That's the tribe that Yahushua Hamashiach sprang out of, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. He's a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, a so-called Negro, a very dark-skinned man with woolly hair. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Because we got many enemies. All these 17 heathen nations. Which I got Psalms 83 on deck. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to go into it, but we know you can read it for yourself. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. They have taken crafty crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel, Yasharallah, may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it's going to go into all the nations. And peep it. Peep the first couple nations. The tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, these Europeans. And the Ishmaelites, these so-called Arabs. Of Moab, them gooks. So the first three nations are who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Ishmael, the so-called Arabs, and Moab, the gooks. You see? But it expounds on more nations. All these nations are confederate. They're all against us. You know? Again, who shall bemoan thee? But going back to Genesis 49 and 9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai gonna rouse you up, man. He gonna put his hatred in your heart. You know, 2/3 of you. Because there is gonna be a race war. There's gonna be class wars, you know, but there's also gonna be race wars. You best believe it, you know? And you Jakes are gonna lose it. You're gonna lash out. All that pent up animosity, all that pent up hatred, you're gonna unleash it upon these heathens. You see, that's the point. But right now, 2/3 of you are as an old lion. If you ever been to the zoo, you've seen that old lion. He's defeated, man. He's docile. He's broken. Homeborn slave. That's you. That's 2/3 of you broken. You have Stockholm syndrome. You love your oppressor. You've been in captivity too long. Okay. And like I said, you could read. So go back and read. I read a little bit of it. Psalms 83. All these heathens, they're confederate. They're all in cahoots. They all prey upon Yasharallah, you tribes. All these heathens, they get tax exemptions. They get write-offs. They get incentives to go set up shop in your hoods, your barrios, your traps, your slums, your ghettos. You know? They all go to the hood and set up shop to exploit you. Meanwhile, they hate your guts, treat you like shit, feed you poison liquor, poison food. You know? Our women putting destroying your hair with that weave and shit. They all prey upon you. Make their living off your fucking backs, but hate your guts. But it's supposed to be that way. But you people love to have it so. You love Miss Ling Ling and Miss Ting Ting. You know? Lamentations 2 and I want to get it in the let me get it in the blue letter. Lamentations 2, and I'll read it in the KJV, then I'll read it in the NLT. I'm just running through them. I don't want to make this too long. Straight to the point, man. Very disgusting video, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Keep that same energy, Moab. You goddamn gooks. You goddamn washpots. Lamentations, and you niggas deserve it. Coons. You deserve everything you get, man. You refuse to wake up to reality. You love being in a sunken place. Lamentations 2 and 15. All that pass by clap their hand at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem. And again, we're a people before a place. We're scattered amongst the four corners of the earth, but the bulk of us are in the Americas. Primarily, the great US of A, Babylon the Great, Mystery Babylon, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. It says, they hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? And they got a right to say that. 2/3 of you are a bunch of degenerates, man. Unrecognizable. Shame, you know, a bunch of little nasty exes, a bunch of fucking Cardi B's, sexy reds, Suckianas, you know, or a bunch of sodomites, you know. Jake is destroyed, or if you ain't that, you're killing your brother, you're killing your sister, committing adultery. You act like a bunch of goddamn savages, man. We live amongst you in the hood and shit. You know, they right to say that, man. Pissing in the elevator, shitting in the elevator. You know, living in pissy projects and shit. Who's doing that? You doing that? You got, you know, Jake, you see, Jake is destroyed, man. You love that. You love that ghetto lifestyle, man. You love it. So they not wrong for saying that. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. We've become a proverb and a byword. They got derogatory names for all of the tribes, man. You know? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say we have swallowed her up. Again, they come to rape us and take advantage of us to this very day. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. Again, they have consulted with one consent. They're all in cahoots. We have found, we have seen it. The Lord Yahweh have done that which he have devised. He have fulfilled his word that he commanded in the days of old. He have thrown down he have thrown down and have not pitied. And he have caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He have set up the horn of thine adversaries. And the horn is really Esau. He's at the head of this great persecution. All right? But again, he's not alone. He's got all these other heathen, well, it's 16 because it's really it's 18 nations. We're above all of them. But you got 17 heathen nations, the other nations. But Esau's at the head of it, primarily the Amalekites, the chief house of Edom, them gutter rats, those tunnel diggers, those 1948ers, and they got the other 16 heathen nations bowing down and giving consent to the beast for a time, for a moment. Let me go back to 15 in the NLT. All who pass by jeer at you. They scoff and insult beautiful Jerusalem, saying, is this the city called most beautiful in all the world? We're supposed to be the salt of the earth, man. You know? It says, and the joy of all the earth. All your enemies mock you. They scoff and snarl and say, we have destroyed her at last. We have long waited for this day, and it is finally here. So that's the point. That's the point. Let me see. I got a couple more and I'll close out. This is the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, which is it's really about Yasharallah. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not a metaphor, not an allegory, but it's really, it's a dark saying, you know, about Esau and Jacob. The rich man is Esau. Lazarus represents Jacob. So Luke 16 and 19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. That's Esau. He's in the power seat. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? And that goes back to the blessing that Isaac blessed him with. The sword and the fatness of the earth. So he's in the power seat right now. Esau, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. Esau would be ruling in the latter times. But Esau's the end of the world, this particular age, eon, empire, rulership, kingdom. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. We got next, not you goddamn gooks. So again it says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, who represents you tribes, Yasharallah, because we're at the bottom, you know? We're the meek, we're the lowly, downtrodden, the oppressed, the forgotten. Proverbs and bywords, you know? We're the ones that need saving. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. It says, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. That's you tribes, you goddamn coons. Want a slice of the pie in a deluxe apartment in the sky. You just looking for some handout. You just looking for a little bit of ease. Goddamn house Negroes. Moreover, the dogs represent the other nations, i.e. Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, Elam, you know. Moreover, the dogs came, these other nations came and licked their sores. And that's the point. I could read you can read the whole parable, but the point of the matter is they come and they take advantage of us. Jake is looking for a handout, looking for a little bit of ease, you know, from all this hardcore bondage, and these other nations come in and they take advantage of us. So I'm a couple more, wrap it up. Isaiah 16:6. We have heard the pride of Moab, you goddamn gooks, you slanted-eyed mongoloid gooks. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is very proud, and you see that the pride oozing off of him in that video, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. You see? I mean, same thing. Let me Jeremiah 48:29. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. We know Esau is the proud, the wicked, per Obadiah, per Malachi, but Moab is proud as hell too. They really believe they got next, We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. You see? But guess what? You goddamn gooks going into slavery just like your goddamn daddy. All of you 17 heathen nations, all of you are going into slavery under Yasharallah, under Yahushua HaMashiach. That's why he's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Them crowns on his head represent all of your kingdoms. You're all going to bow down. And we're going to rule over you with a rod of iron, And I can't wait. And that's what we're waiting on, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to rise up to the prey. Deuteronomy, but hey, again, 2/3 of you deserve all of that animosity. All of you, you deserve it. Because you're a bunch of goddamn homeborn slaves. And you refuse to wake up to reality. You refuse to repent and turn back to your power. So you deserve everything you get. Deuteronomy 23:3. An Ammonite, which are the Japanese, an Ammonite or Moabite, again, which are the so-called Chinese, an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord Yahweh. You can't be saved. The only nation that's promised salvation is Israel. Okay? We're the only ones that can repent. We're the only ones that can, we were the only nation that was given the laws. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is our power. No other nation. But the Lord has a particular disdain for you goddamn Ammonites and you goddamn Moabites, right along with you goddamn Edomites, you Idumeans. It says, an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord Yahweh, even to their 10th generation. Shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord Yahweh forever? So you ain't no say, and you can't make it, Moab. Hence you're Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's washpot. He's using you to take down Edom. Two proud demons. Beautiful. Close out here. Psalm 60:8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Yeah, all of you heathens, you forgot that you have what you have, all that you have, the position of authority, the power, everything you've gotten from our power. And it was only for a time, for a moment. You heathens are beside yourself. You feeling yourself. You forgot Allah Shaja. But you about to be reintroduced, reacquainted. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is about to become infamous again. He's going to get his respect and his fame. And he going to use Yasharallah to do it. We are Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's battle axe. So with that being said, Adawan Ratazah, this came together and it made sense. I didn't want to make it too long. Yeah, wake up, Jake, man. These heathens have a disdain for you. They hate you, man. They hate your guts. How much more proof do you need? Anyway, keep watching, keep praying, keep fighting, keep pushing. We're close. Shalom. Wa abad babal. Kwam Yasharallah.